guys. Welcome to Ingest Quest. This is our season finale. I am author Megan R. Miller. You can find my stuff on Amazon.com. With us, we have Benjamin Scott of Puffin Forest. You can find Ben here on YouTube by searching for Puffin Forest. He will be playing Nub Nub, the Bopi Druid. And Anthony Amato of Cardboard Fortress Games. You can get their games Resistor, Laser Riders, and Centipede at your local board game shop or online. He will be playing Augustus Gloop, the Tiefling Ooze Warlock. This is Nate the Nerdarch of Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. He has been a creator and partner over on Nerdarchy for 4 years now and mostly works on adventure and homebrew products, the storefront of nerdarchy.com, and travels to conventions. He will be playing Five Hands Sten, the Manted Arcane Trickster Rogue. Kianata is a streamer and contributor on Nerdarchy. You can find him at twitch.tv/Kianata. He will be playing Fitzroy Brimblebottom, the Human Ranger. And of course, our esteemed game master, Doug Vahovic, who is Nerditor-in-Chief at nerdarchy.com. He will be our guide and games master tonight in the world of Endless Horizons, Spelljammer.
Hey, thanks, Megan. It's Nerder Doug here from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. And like Megan said, we're playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons with a Gonzo Spelljammer twist to it. And before we get started, we'll lay down our house rules like we always do. Each character starts all the sessions with inspiration. They can use their inspiration to give me disadvantage on any of my rolls, and we are using the alternate from Hit Dice to Heroics rules that are in the Nerdarchy store, and there's a link in the description. So the last time when we left off, the party had followed the trail of mysterious mist that they could see with their goggles they got long ago to a tenement block party that was pretty strange. They made their way through the various rooms of this party with Fitzroy suffering from a massive planar headache the whole time, but he was with the party. Eventually, they made their way to the back and discovered a golden coatl and their friend Karen Vole, who had sort of listlessly wandered away from Illrigger that they were looking for. Also, Circas's familiar Arlosh, who is a small jammer, had vanished before her eyes. Apparently, that was a side effect of a special dream-like ritual that Waylock, who was revealed to be this golden coatl, had cast upon Kieran to sort of separate him from the gem that had been floating around his head, which the party learned is an ultimate helm that can allow one to pilot a Spelljammer ship. And Arlosh was perhaps stuck in this dream realm as well, being sucked in by a ritual from the Gastronomicon that Waylock had been using. Circas, Stan, and Nub Nub elected to enter the dream realm as well to protect Karen's psyche and look for Arlosh, while Augustus remained outside in the real world with Fitzroy, who miraculously recovered from his planar headache as he is here with us today. So as we start, we find Circas, Nub Nub, and Stan standing on a stone platform that is floating in a hazy void. There are archways, it's a big square, there's archways on various sides of this four-squared thing, and there's like vines and roots and these like strange blue flowers growing all around, sort of like a hanging garden. There are ramps leading up and down from these various platforms to other platforms similar. And far in the distance, if I can find where my notes were. Yes, far in the distance, you three see a really bright green light that is cutting through this haze in a vertical beam shooting upwards. And as you watch, actually, where the beam goes up, like sort of the haze dissipates or is eaten up, sort of begins being sucked up by a black void in the sky that swallows the light. And before we get into it too, Waylock had mentioned that you might have some control over the dream realm. Now, Stan, you had wished to have wings in this dream realm.
Yes.
So I would like Stan to make a charisma check.
All right, I'll do that.
Nightmare on Elm Street rules.
You're the Dream Warriors.
That's great.
That was the best one. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
No.
I've been unprepared. I need to find a die.
Okay.
So,
well, while
just
he's
give me a
doing that, Nub Nub and Circus, what are your dream desires?
I just appear just as my normal self.
Is your hair grown back though? Is that your dream?
Yeah, the hair's grown back.
All right, make a charisma check.
9.
It's still a little bristly. It's not manifesting as much as you would have liked. How about Circus? What is your dream desire?
I came here with the sole intent and like tunnel focus to find Arlosh, and that is exactly what I'm thinking about right now. I'm looking for my familiar.
Okay.
My son.
Yes, that's right. Well, then why don't you also make a charisma check?
You make an imaginary Arlosh, like I'm here, and you're like, oh, and then it like starts like melting. It's like there, like yeah.
Oh god.
What did you get, Megan?
17.
17. So with that, you actually do kind of like focus your force of personality upon finding Arlosh, your small jammer son, and from you get a sense from that void. You actually you see with your mind's eye Arlosh sort of floating in that void, just under, hovering just under the where it opens up into the sky by that green light. And as you watch, also you see his form sort of like begin to shift, and his sort of purplish skin actually begins to become like a star field of sort. And 1 second here. Where is that part? Yeah, it looks like his body starts to change and become like it's formed out of the night sky. You see that his little eyes on the front actually become like bright white lights, and stars sort of twinkle on his body, and it sort of morphs into having like large wings, and like legs grow out into claws and things like that. And that green light is sort of siphoning upwards into him and then into the void. So you see that on a distant platform.
Does he seem to be okay with this, or does he seem like afraid? Like, is this more like an apotheosis or an unwanted transformation?
It definitely seems unwanted. He, as it flickers between his form and this, he looks very frightened. And you kind of like feel that in your mind. But he also senses that you're here and feels a little relieved, and but he's otherwise very scared. And Stan, what did you get for your charisma check?
A 9.
Yeah, so like little nubby like dragonfly wings sort of like sprout out of your back a little bit, and they're flittering around, but they don't feel strong enough to propel you into the sky.
I turn to the other two and say, and excitedly, shh, I have wings. They're beautiful.
Beautiful.
They are quite aesthetically pleasing.
And then I kind of just hop around and just think I'm flying.
Okay.
And then I shout like psychically, I'm flying.
I go
I
that
find
way
that rather charming.
with the stick out in front of me. I guide the way in the
All
direction.
right. Sure. So you want to head through one of the archways, and okay. So yeah, you head towards one of those, and my PDF got all blurry, so that okay, there we go. So yeah, as you're stepping through the archway, these blue flowers around sort of like puff, and these little like shimmering kind of motes sort of float down around the three of you, and I need you to make Constitution saving throws.
15.
17, and I'm really lucky I rolled that high because I have no Constitution saving modifier.
5.
5. All right, Nub Nub. So the three of you feel a little strange, but Nub Nub, you actually become overcome with like a psychic pain, and you are going to take 6 points of psychic damage, and I need you to roll a d6.
Okay. That is a 6.
Okay, so in your mind, you become flooded with like memories that aren't your own. You see a young man, a human man who grew up to be wanting to be an adventurer, and you're sort of like experiencing his life in flashes like a dream. You see that he joined a group excursion into a dungeon, and he proceeded to trigger every trap along the way, spiked pits, poison darts, and he eventually died from that. And also, is it? You're going to gain the poisoned condition
Okay.
temporarily. So yeah, as you pass up here too, you're walking up this ramp to another similar platform. You come out onto it, and you're getting closer to the thing, and you see that there are shapes sort of hiding in this these vines and sort of things like that. And as you come up onto this platform, these just kind of disgusting looking creatures that have like 4 limbs, but they're kind of like twisted backwards, so like they're kind of scuttling along on all 4 limbs. They have like no eyes, lipless mouths with like these sharp teeth, and they sort of like scuttle out of the vines, and they are going to approach you menacingly. They don't really say anything. They just kind of like slathering. They have like big tongues lapping and things like that. They look like very nightmarish. So I would like you to roll initiative.
Some Resident Evil, Silent Hill kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of.
Oh. Kill it with fire?
Oh man, this is not the time to roll a 1. I have a 9.
A 9. You rolled a 1 and you end up with a 9 initiative.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, what? How did you manage
But it's the worst. It's the worst initiative I can roll.
Dirty 20.
All right.
15.
All right. So, Circus, you were up first as 4 of these things sort of like just pull themselves out of the vines. And it doesn't look like they were I mean, the vines are kind of like stuck to the wall sort of, so it looks like they sort of just crawl out of the shadows themselves and just start scuttling along on these 4 limbs with their bodies twisted upside down, coming at you.
If you have fire, that would be helpful. Kill it with fire.
Fireball.
Okay, well,
you
they're coming from different, like.
Oh, so they're not all clustered together.
No, they're sort of like spread out.
Okay, well then not fireball. Let me see.
Sure.
I really need to learn to take more attack spells. I'm gonna have to Eldritch Blast. There's like not
Hey,
really
when you're a
another
warlock,
option.
man, that's what you got going. Can't go wrong with the Eldritch Blast. So 11 is the armor class you're looking to beat here.
Okay. Good. I hit.
Okay.
Okay, is it still 1d10 at level 7? I should know this by now. I really should.
Yes, but you have 2 beams, so you
Right,
can
okay.
twice, so they would each do 1d10. You could attack 2 different targets or the same one.
All right.
You might
So
want the invocation to add your charisma to it. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with the same one for the time being,
Sure.
and that's 11 total damage. I'm just trying to get an idea of how much health these things have.
Yeah, it looks like parts of its form sort of like, blast away. It reforms. They look like wispy, so the beam kind of goes through it and like, dissipates part of its actual form that like closes up. But it does look like fainter, like its outline is a little hazy. So it's still scuttling forward, but it is definitely wounded. It almost looks like translucent at this point.
All right, I use my bonus action to hiss at them and say I wrote the book on scuttling on the ceiling, you slithy tove.
Make an intimidation check.
You posers.
12.
Well, I rolled really low, so I'm going to give you advantage on your next attack against these things, as they are sort of afraid of you now. And Nub Nub, it is your turn now.
All right, I started looking up weird stuff I could turn into since it's
Okay.
the last one. I'm going to turn into a giant constrictor snake,
Okay,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and then I'm gonna slide over. I'm gonna slither over to one,
sure.
and I'm going to attempt to do a constrict attack on it.
Okay. Is that like a strength check or something?
That is an 8 to hit. That is not.
Oh, it's just a hit. It's just a hit.
It's just a 2 hit.
Okay, so yeah, you try to slither around them, and they're just weird bodies sort of like contort out of your constricting grasp.
Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. 5-hand Stan, what would you like to do? Okay, what is the range on that? All right. So yeah, So both Nub Nub and Stan, as you sort of approach them, you start to feel like a sort of like an addled feeling in your mind. It's nothing too crazy, but just kind of like messing with your thoughts a little bit. So you said it's a Constitution saving throw. I got a nat 20. You can.
Oh,
It's the first time somebody used it. Woohoo! I rolled a nat 1. All right. So what is it? That's just poison. 22.
Oh! What?
What was this from?
5 hand
Apparently-
Stan the man.
Yeah.
This
So
comes out of his mouth.
yeah, does it come out of your mouth? I don't know if you had like a poison sac that you like squeeze or something like that.
Oh.
You spray it, you don't say it, and yeah, it just covers this thing and sort of like sizzles as it goes over its flesh, and it just sort of like dissipates into wisps in the air. And now it is your turn.
Oh God.
All right, so the one that Circas hit is going to just like scuttle up towards you, and as it gets closer, you also feel like it's just a strange sensation in your mind. It's sort of like maddening thoughts, like it's projecting its maddening thoughts outward in a nearby area, and it's going to attempt to bite you with its lipless, sharp teeth. Wow. And I rolled a 16. Is that it?
I'm pretty sure that hits. Let me check real fast. Yeah, it exactly meets my armor class.
All right, so you're going to take 4 piercing damage, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I think that's actually one of the saves that I have, so dirty 20.
All right, so yeah, as it bites into you, you feel like that maddening sensation kind of intensify, but you're able to like steel your mind against it. There is one that Nub Nub is coiling around. It's going to attempt to bite at you also, and that is a 13.
Yeah, that's a hit.
That hits. Okay.
Yep.
So it also sinks its sharp, needle-like teeth into you, and it's going to do 5 piercing damage. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Fail.
Well, what'd you get? It's not a super.
Oh,
heavy.
it was like 5.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you actually feel as it's biting into you, you feel these maddening thoughts, but there's also a clear thought piercing through it that's saying like, "This one is weak, get him," and the other two sort of come at you as well. And they're gonna like they dive at Nub Nub and sort of pile on. So we got a 21 to hit. That's gonna hit, and a 15.
Yep,
Is that it?
that's a hit.
All right, so it's gonna be another. 12 damage total of piercing damage as these things just sort of like swarm and crawl all over his giant constrictor snake body and start biting into his flesh. And
Gross.
we are back to Circas.
Yes, good. So I believe I have advantage on this one because of the intimidation.
That's right. It's sort of like snapping at you, but it's afraid to get too close.
All right, that's a 15 to hit.
That hits.
So
They just kind of got like stringy, fleshy bodies.
9 damage. I rolled a 1 on one of my d8s, and then I rolled an 8 on the other one. Don't
So,
you
yeah.
love it when that happens?
Yeah, your Eldritch Blast goes right through it, and it's just sort of like wisps of dark, nightmarish energy, sort of.
Do attack rolls,
Rise
man.
in
You should roll on both so you get a crit, possibly.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah. I'll remember that for next time.
And it's also
No.
just
Now, was that just one of your bolts, or did you want to?
Oh no, that was both of them.
Okay.
Can I bonus action Whispers of the Void on one of the ones that's attacking Nub Nub?
You absolutely can.
Cool. So
And-
that should give it disadvantage, I believe.
Yep.
That's how that works.
Yeah, I rolled like a 2, so you will definitely have disadvantage on that. And Nub Nub, it is your turn. You've got 2 of these things sort of like scuttling all over you.
I'm gonna take look at one of them, and I'm going to try and constrict it again.
Okay.
That 12 to try and constrict.
You do. You constrict around it.
All
So
right.
crushing it. How does that work?
So first off, it's going to be restrained now.
Okay.
And I'm going to do some damage to it. I have to find my d8s. Okay. 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4, 12 bludgeoning damage, and it's grappled.
All right. Yeah. So you
sorry,
start crushing it.
restrained. Yeah.
Yep. And you have it in your snaky grasp.
So
Yeah.
other people have advantage to try and attack it.
All right, so Stan, you're up. You've got one of these things restrained by Nub Nub, and another one sort of just like has backed away, but is still close to Nub Nub.
All right, I remember to unmute myself this time, and I will attack the one that I have advantage against that Nub Nub
Sure.
has.
Absolutely.
Yep.
What are you attacking it with?
With my grandfather's arm.
All right.
Okay, it's a good thing I had advantage because that would have been bad. 23.
That definitely hits, and you will get your sneak attack, of course.
All right. That will be 19 damage.
It vanishes, and Nub Nub's body sort of constricts around itself as it was squeezing so tight, and just like vaporizes into thin air, and it is no more. Is there anything else you wanted to do? A bonus action or anything like that?
I'll move over to another one
Mm-hmm.
and menace it.
Okay, make an intimidation check. How are you menacing it?
I'm making myself look really big, having my arms out and like flailing them around and like making claw gestures at it. Like I could attack with any arm.
All right.
Need your wings to look larger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I spread out my wings. That will be is it charisma?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a 10.
Yeah, it doesn't appear. It's just kind of like snapping at you. This doesn't seem to be cowed by your display of prominence.
It just must not be intelligent enough to do it. To be
Yeah, they are
to
very
be scared of me.
And
No.
and is so not scared. In fact, it is going to sort of like leap at you and try to bite you.
All right, now I'm intimidated. I try and get away from it. Ah!
And that is going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits me.
That's going to be 8 piercing damage, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. I will absolutely make it. No, I didn't.
Well, what'd you roll? It's pretty low.
It is a 7.
No, so you actually feel like as it's sinking in, this maddening thoughts that it's projecting sort of intensify against you. And technically, I guess to get mechanical about it wouldn't affect because it gives others of its kind advantage to attack you, but there are no other ones. So.
Okay. I flail maddeningly around.
All right.
So I'm waving my arms now in panic rather than intimidation now.
So Circus, you see Stan waving his arms in panic as this thing is sort of like just kind of pounced onto him and sunk these needle-like teeth into his carapace.
All right, how many of them are left?
Just the one that's
Just the one? Yeah,
Nub crushed one to death and you killed 2.
yeah, I'm gonna turn around and Eldritch Blast that thing.
Go for it.
And I'm gonna. Am I still intimidating them? Do I still have advantage?
No, the one that you intimidated is dead.
Then I use my inspiration to re-roll that because it was terrible.
Okay,
All right. So that's 14 to hit.
that hits.
For 8 damage.
All right, so it is blasted. Its form also becomes indistinct. Nub, it is your turn.
Okay, so I go to the last one. I'm going to try and constrict it. Or
Okay.
Not last one, but one of
Okay. Go for it. Yeah, it's the last one that you see.
Okay. Okay, that's going to be a 18 to constrict.
It's constricted.
Yep,
Are you-
and it is going to take 13 damage, and it's now restrained.
It is now vaporized by your constricting body, just crushing it to death. And before we go back to our other 2 party members, so as these things dissipate on the wind, their maddening whispers sort of linger, and you actually hear some distinct voices that are sort of like delving into your own minds, and they are kind of like whispering. They're like pulling secrets out of your mind. Tell me, each of you, one character's secret that is whispered in this realm that all can hear.
I secretly loves you, Gustus.
We're shipping that.
Well, I mean, not specifically that, but I actually have formed a kind of emotional attachment to the party. Like you guys are my family now, and I'm not gonna say that because
No.
you know.
No, this isn't you saying. It's just like it's just like whispering. There's a voice in this realm that's sort of whispering your secrets.
I actually respect you guys a lot more than mere food sources.
Aww. I'm gonna get all misty.
I'm not food.
My secret would be something like I stole some food that Fitzroy was cutting up when he told me not to. Like, oh, he's cutting up, and then he like takes it, and he turns away for a second. I'm like, yeah, and I stole some, and then he like swoop into there. And so when that secret comes out, the snakehead like turns to you, and it's the big eyes, and they're really watery.
Five Hand Stan secretly detests his brethren who are more hive-minded than himself. He doesn't just think he's found a better way. He thinks they're really almost like not the same species as him. He hates them.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. That's deep.
That's a good one.
That is. I'm writing all these down. All right, so yeah, we'll fade out to them back to Waylock's party hall.
Revealing your secrets, see? That's exactly why I wasn't going into this. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know.
You have too many. We would have to have like 20 of these things killed in front of you.
Need a whole nother episode.
So back in the waking world, Augustus and Fitzroy are there with Waylock, where your friends and Karen are laid out on these tables while Waylock is consulting the Gastronomicon, and you see them sort of start to like convulse a little bit, and look like their brows are furrowed with consternation. And you're good.
So if they look like they're like suffering some trauma in their dream state, I'm definitely checking on them to make sure they're okay. And by that, I mean I'm going through their pockets. God, I'm checking on them because I have no medical knowledge. So I'm probably focused on Five Hand Stan because I get the impression he's the one pocketing all the good stuff, but I'm definitely looting the party at this point.
It's going to take several minutes to try and find all the pockets.
I know you got them goggles on you somewhere.
Oh, I gave them to the snake.
Yeah, Waylock's wearing them. Make an investigation check. You guess this.
I'm also trying to do it so that nobody notices that I'm doing. I'm definitely helping them out and making sure they're breathing okay and everything.
There's air coming out of their faces. They're good. Let's see what's in their pockets.
This money is weighing down their chest. It might disrupt their breathing.
He can't move freely. I gotta get all this stuff off of him.
So yeah, you would find some of the Stan's been collecting all sorts of objects aside from just money. As little miniature snails in there.
I have a live mouse.
Yes, he has a live mouse. He's got rocks and pap rocks, pieces of dark chocolate, just everything from your adventures, pieces of fromage de la porte, everything you've been. He's got.
I wasn't gonna take much, but I like everything you just said.
But also in your investigation with that large roll too, you see that underneath of Stan and sort of starting to creep out from under him are these like vines and roots with these little flower buds that are like what are they called? I forget, but yeah, it's sort of like a daisy bud, but it's blue. And as you watch, it sort of like opens up and puffs in your face, and these little buds come out. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh dear.
I probably stole that from something and it's growing now.
16.
16. So yeah, it kind of like puffs in your face, and you just kind of wave it away. You feel a little weird, and you roll a d6.
4.
So yeah, you don't feel any like ill effects, but you also feel that same thing like I described for Nub Nub. Like you're getting flashes of somebody else's memory. You see an orc. He lived a short and brutal life. He was an abused whelp. He eventually joined a force of rampaging orcs that were defeated by a rival orc tribe before he was cooked alive and eaten. Right. And
Great memories there. Nothing but sunshine.
How was the
and
technique? Is what you?
No vision at all. What a small life. I will take what I have in my hands, which I hope includes the snails and the fromage de mort.
Mm-hmm.
And I will jump back. Is Fitzroy like coming out of his state?
Yeah, he is shaking it off, and as you do jump back, both of you notice that not only was those vines and things from Understand, but they are growing very rapidly from beneath Karen, Circus, and Nub Nub, and like spreading over the table. And,
Hey, you snake! What are you doing? What's this?
and
Tricks.
no, actually, Waylock looks kind of shocked as well, and he starts backing away. And he says, "Oh no, he's found me, the Lord of Dead Dreams."
Okay. All right.
Fitzroy. I grub up right close to your ear. Fitzroy, a lot of things have been happening, and it's all happening really fast. But we got to make some hard decisions in this moment right now. Don't think too hard, but I just want to put together that they're all catatonic in a dreamlike state, and if you ever wanted to make them into food, this is your chance. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's where it's going, but I definitely got that impression early on, and I'm still on board for that if that's your plan, boss.
If we could test it if we just cut one of Stan's fingers off, and just to see if he wakes up, No.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those vines are going to try to devour us all. So if we don't get them now, we're never going to have a better chance.
The question is, what are we supposed? What was the name of the gentleman here who seems to have knowledge?
Oh, yeah,
of
that's right. You missed that one too. Yeah, Waylock was. You were introduced to him as an elf who was getting married to Ron, who you recall was the spokesman who had come here to find travel for his people. He was revealed to actually be a golden coatl who had lured Karen here to try to take the ultimate helm from him, which was that green gem.
And he's using the Gastronomicon to figure it out.
That's right.
Oh yes, mention of the dreaded Gastronomicon.
Yes, and you had gotten Fitzroy had gotten a massive planar headache when a sort of planar moon had shimmered into space nearby.
So, what are they achieving by being in the dream realm, and is ripping them out of it immediately and destroying all of these roots and stuff a terrible idea?
Sure. Well, Waylock explains that basically he had been sort of looking for not Karen specifically, but this ultimate helm, because whoever has it is actually like a target, sort of. It puts him in a dangerous position. He's just a young man. He needed it because he was from the area of space where that ship you guys found a long time ago was from. He had actually escaped from the past into a dream world of his own and just recently emerged. He is the last of his kind, and he wishes to go back there and see if he can help, and he needed the ultimate helm to do it. And as you're talking with him too, you see the roof of the tenement building where you're in sort to crack and break away and get sucked up into the sky. And as you're talking, you see a massive form. It's like a dark blue skinned creature. It's got like just stringy white hair, needly teeth. It's wearing like a hooded cloak. And it's just like huge, gargantuan. And Waylock says, "It is him, the Lord of Dead Dreams." He's like, I don't know what I've done wrong. I must have misused the Gastronomicon. And you see this thing just lower a massive clawed hand down towards you, hoping to crush you. And actually, as you look to the side, Fitzroy, you see it's not reaching towards you, but you see like you see somebody that you love, one of your loved ones from your past. Tell me who it is.
A loved one from my past.
Yeah.
My dog Elroy.
Elroy. I'm gonna save that dog.
I love dogs.
So amazingly, yeah, you see Elroy there. You haven't seen him in years, and this hand is coming down towards him, apparently to crush him. What would you guys like to do?
I immediately go over there, have my tail go out, and try and grab it.
But you're still in the dream realm. They're in the
Yeah.
real world.
Oh, that's the real. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or is it the real world?
I can't rely
Dun, dun, dun.
on Nub Nub to save me here. And I'm not sure knife throwing is going to be enough against the giant thing that ripped the roof off. But I did like Elroy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and dive for Elroy because it's the middle of the moment. I see him. I probably only have a split second to think about it. So I'm just going to try and dive for Elroy and grab him and like tumble out of the way with him.
Absolutely. So make an athletics check.
I would love to say that I would throw knives at it, but when you see something that big, you just don't think a kitchen knife is going to be effective. So, 14.
So yeah, you actually dive and start to get out of the way, and the hand does come down, but for some reason it stops when it hits your body. You're shielding Elroy by your body, and the thing sort of like just recoils in horror, and it's just like it pulls its hand back, almost like it was in pain from you ceasing to stopping it from crushing your loved one. You have saved. I'm going to give you inspiration, and you can bank it.
Ooh. Okay.
And we are going to fade back into the dream realm, where Nub Nub, Searcast, and Five Hand Stan have defeated 4 aberrant creatures upon this floating stone platform. What would you like to do?
We continue following the platforms, trying to get towards the center.
Sure. And you're leading the way?
Yep, as the giant snake.
All right, so make a make a charisma saving a charisma check. No.
My dice are hot tonight. 4.
Mine too.
So yeah, you go up these platforms into another. You go up these ramps onto another platform that again has all these like strange blue flowers, and you're kind of like checking where you're at, and it looks like you're actually getting further away from the platform. And the green light is sort of intensifying. Arlash, you're getting, or Circus, you're getting this like kind of like waves of fear sensing in your mind from Arlash.
Yeah, I'm like, nothing is gonna stop me from getting up there. Like, that's my priority. I've got like the serious tunnel vision right now.
Okay.
I'm just jumping through the air while following the snake, going, I'm flying.
Yeah, and
Really
I just continue looking, like trying to figure out how to get to the center.
Okay, Stan, why don't you make a charisma check?
Okay. Maybe I'll pass it this time.
Maybe.
A 13.
Actually, yeah. So as you're jumping around, trying to fly, actually, one of the times that you jump, you actually feel like it sort of takes you a little bit longer to hit the ground. You guys see that he, looks like he might be sort of floating, flying, sort of, or maybe just the gravity is lighter. But you sort of like are able to jump up maybe, much further than you normally would, like 20 feet in the air, and you see several of those platforms, and it looks almost like, well, make a perception check.
Sure.
Intriguing.
I'm good at those. 17.
So it almost looks like MC Escher-ish sort of thing, where it's like you could sort of see how you might be able to get to where the green light is coming from, but it doesn't look like any sort of direct path.
But it's disruptive. It's weird. It's strange. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Is that going to give me some kind of insight into the path we should go, or?
Yes. So you guys can have advantage on your checks to navigate this maze. If you'd like to explain that to Nub Nub, he can have advantage, or you can try to assist him or whatever.
I wave at the snake and say, Nub Nub.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're still a snake.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Do I?
With my newfound flight power, I have found a way that we need to go.
All right. Which kind of a roll do I need to make?
You need to make a, what did I say, charisma check, but you can make it with
charisma.
advantage.
Okay, that is a 21.
So yeah, actually, oddly enough, it's like you go like down a ramp, and then you notice, like, you look back and like the platform you came from is like upside down. You're not even sure how you got there. And you see that the the next little platform is again filled with those blue flowers, and you do see several of those creatures sort of like stalking around in there. They stop every once in a while to look at you on the ramp as you're coming down, but they don't come out of the platform.
Okay. We approach with caution.
Okay. So you all heading onto that platform?
Yep.
Okay, so as soon as you pass into there, those blue flowers sort of like puff at you again, and I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws.
14.
2.
How about you, Stan?
I'm sorry. I did not know what I was doing.
A Constitution saving throw.
Oh, probably failing it. Yep, I have a 0. No, wait, no, a 2. Sorry, I was thinking charisma check. I have a 2.
All right, so Stan and Nub roll a d6.
4.
5.
Okay, so Nub, you actually you also get another one of those dream visions. It is of I've described it to Anthony as that orc who just lived a short and brutal life. He was abused and eventually eaten by cooked alive and eaten by rival tribes. And what did you roll, Stan?
5.
You get the same vision that I described to Nub earlier of a young man who grew up wanting to be an adventurer and dying horribly in a dungeon trap. And in addition to that,
I just shake my head each time he hits a trap. Should have saw that.
What languages do you speak, Stan?
I have dwarf, and I believe elf, and my language, the language of my people.
And common, right?
In common, yeah.
So, is that the order they're in? Oh, what would they be in alphabetical order? Let's see. Common, dwarf, elf, mantis. So you actually forget how to. You forget all your understanding of the mantis language.
Cool.
Oh man.
So suddenly, that part of your brain that understands your people's language just seems to be gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can still speak common, I take it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just went in alphabetical order, and that was the last one.
Well, it's just weird because his language is telepathic, so is he really speaking any
Well,
other
there is a click.
Yeah, there's the clicky stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. He sort of mimics that affectation.
I'm speaking telepathy to you.
Yeah, there's clicking and there's also motion and.
Well, if you said his telepathy was in his own language, the mantis language.
Oh, okay.
But then because it's telepathy, everybody else understands it. Then you would be saying, "Oh, he can't speak his own language anymore, so then he can't talk to people telepathically." Also, that'd be like
That'd be terrible.
That'd be real bad. Yeah.
Then you have to talk to people normally.
Yeah.
And you couldn't creep them out.
Does Stan, does he ever talk normally, or does he always use telepathy? I think
He always uses telepathy, but he makes the sub
right.
whatever.
Like
basically, that which like is the clicking and stuff.
Right. So, despite that, as you come into here, there's actually 5 of these scuttling creatures now. And if you want, we can keep the same initiative, or you can roll again, because they're just immediately going to go on the offensive.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can
gonna.
just keep the same initiative.
I'd love to re-roll personally.
Okay, never mind. Let's.
All right.
Yeah, let's re-roll because he had rolled fairly terribly.
It's still not bad. I mean, it's a 9, but
17.
Okay. That's the guess.
18. I swear I'm not lying. I will send you a screenshot of the re-roll
I believe you.
when we're done. I've just been doing really well today.
yeah, I've been doing terrible.
That's fine. Nevertheless, they all beat you, so they are going to just.
I got a 27.
Oh, I thought didn't you get a 9?
That was the first. That was when I rolled the 1.
Oh.
Now I rolled a 19.
Oh, okay. Well, then you are first as 5 of these things just sort of like hiss and their
Man.
gross tongues are lolling around.
I will attack the second from the left if that's the thing, unless they're all encircling us.
They were sort of like pacing around this large platform, and as you entered it, they sort of like their heads whipped towards you and just started coming on the offensive. So they're kind of spaced out right now. They're probably like 15 feet away.
That is a 14.
That hits. Are you taking with Grandpa's arm?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Grandpappus. Can I do the sneak because I'm attacking first, or I don't know? I forget that rule.
No, no, you're not an assassin. You didn't really surprise.
Okay. All
They
right.
were sort of like alerted to your presence.
Well, that's a mighty 4 damage.
All right.
And then I will kind of try and figure out a good position to be around them so I don't get surrounded.
Sure. Yeah, they like I said, they're kind of spaced out. And then it is their turn, so we'll have the one that's right on you attack. That's going to be a 9, or not 10, which I'm sure misses. And you're still a snake, right? No.
Yeah.
And they're like large, right? I mean, it's like pretty
Yeah,
big.
they're large.
All right, so you're slithering around. And, another one is going to rush over towards Stan. And that is a 15.
Misses.
Okay. And then we're going to have 2 of them sort of like circle around Nub and try to like attack him in tandem. That's going to be a 16 and an 8. Does either of those hit?
16 is a hit, yes.
All right, so that's going to be 5 piercing damage and a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom save. That is going to be a 3.
Wow. That's like one of your saves too, right?
Oh, actually, sorry. 6.
Ooh,
It was
man.
a 2 plus 4.
So yeah, that sort of like confounding bite, that sensation again, just sort of like draws the attention of the remaining one. Wait, that was, or the closest one who's going to come at you and attack and miss. Actually, it's just sort of can't find a purchase on your snaky body. And the final one notices Sir Cassin's going to rush up towards her.
Come at me, bro.
He does, but he does not make it. He just tries to snap at you, but you're able to dodge out of the way. And it is your turn. You've got one right up in your face, Sir Cass.
I belong here. And then I Eldritch Blast
All right.
for 18, and that is 9 damage.
Is that just, do you want to do both blasts at him?
Yeah, like just one hand on either side and like just straight inward.
Okay. So, so what was the other second beam's attack? Like it's actually like 2 attack rolls.
Yeah, one was 6 and one was 3. Oh, the other attack. Okay.
Oh no, I got. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're good. Yeah, so you've properly cowed this thing. Nub, you've got 2 of them, sort of, weaving around you, trying to snap at you. What would you like to do?
One of them. Gonna try and constrict him.
Go for it.
Crit.
It's definitely constricted.
Okay. For 15 plus 8. 23.
Damn, those constrictor snakes aren't messing around.
I crit and then I rolled like 2 8s on the.
Still, yeah. I mean, so yeah, you just powerfully squeeze this thing until it pops, and it's a little wispy nightmare essence sort of.
Then I'm looking at the other one. Yes. At the.
It looks scared. Stan, it is your turn. You've got the one just sort of doing a tete-a-tete with you.
First. Excuse me. All right. I will. Is there a way I can kind of disengage from this? No, that's not gonna work
Oh,
out.
yeah, you have a bonus action. You can disengage.
I can do that as a bonus. Yeah, rogues can do that as a bonus action. Sorry. I will disengage. And
Okay.
is there a place to like kind of?
You want a sneak attack, don't you?
I want to sneak attack. I want to like hide behind something or leap.
the other
Really,
one-
I want to fly over it into its blind spot and then dive down at it.
You could
Believe
do
in your
that.
tiny wings.
Hey, they're
You could
bigger
do
now.
that. Yeah, that's right. You look like the guy from Yar's Revenge. You can finally. That was my goal before we even started playing. Shout out to all the Atari 2600 fans out there. And, the other one is going round and round with Nub. If you wanted to sort of short flight hop over to that.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll disengage from this one and I'll fly over to the other one and strike at it.
Yeah, make a charisma check.
Oh boy. Oh, a 0.
Okay, so you don't manage to get the height on your flight as your wings are sort of flapping, but you do manage to get over there and take away your move or anything like
These charisma checks are killing me.
that. Yeah. Hey man, it's a realm of dreams, dude. So it's your
Yeah, I know. I'm not good at
It's
it.
psychic, man. Should
I-
be all into that.
I'm the wrong kind of
but
psychic. I'm like the Cthulhu intellect devourer psychic.
Okay. Well, you definitely can flank this thing with Nub Nub and get it.
All right, well then I have struck it.
Okay.
And that will be 17, 20 damage total.
So yeah, Grandpa's arm just goes right through this thing. It just sort of turns to black dust around it and dissipates into the air. And then it is their turn. There was one up on... not actually... Yeah. There's one right up in your grill. It's going to try to bite at you. That is going to be 16.
Yes, that hits.
That's 4 piercing damage, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw. All right, so yeah, you feel its maddening, confounding thoughts rush into your body, but you shake it off again with your powerful will. You are a woman on a mission to save your son. And then the one that Stan hopped away from is going to scuttle on all 4 gross, weird limbs over towards you and try to bite at Stan. It's going to be a 15.
That will
Is that
miss.
it? That miss, all right, yeah.
16
Cannot find purchase.
16 is the magic number.
Your wings give you just that little bit of hump to scuttle out of the way. And then, let's see, the one that's constricting is dead, so it's the other one that's going to try to bite at Nub Nub, and that is going to be an 11s, which I believe misses, right?
That is a miss.
Yeah. All right. So we are back to Sir Cass. You've got the one you're sort of going round and round with, and then Stan and Nub Nub are engaged with the remaining 2.
Okay, so yes, I will Eldritch Blast again because that is just the pattern that I have followed.
That's what warlocks do, man.
12?
That hits.
And then I have to roll for the other one, right? That's what we decided?
It's like 2 blasts. So basically it gives you the options, like you can shoot them both at one or 2 different ones.
And then the other attack is a 6, so I guess only one of them.
Yeah.
And that is okay. I roll 9.
That is enough to vaporize this thing. So despite the one that missed, yeah. And you still get your move and bonus action or anything else you'd like to do in this turn?
Bonus action, Whispers of the Void.
Sure. There was one that was uninjured and one that was injured. Which one would you prefer to do that?
The uninjured one.
All right. So you're counteracting their maddening aura with your own. And we are at Nub Nub. So you've got an uninjured one and an injured one. They're sort of like, it's like a big mass like you and Stan, and 2 of these things are all sort of fighting in a match.
I will look at the uninjured one, and I am going to attempt to constrict it.
Absolutely.
That is a 23.
It is constricted.
For 11 points of damage.
All right, so yeah, you start crushing it, and its form starts to become indistinct, and it's just getting mangled up in your vice-like snaky grip.
Yep.
Man, that constrictor snake's badass.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Stan. So you've got one that's totally restrained by Nub Nub, and another one that's sort of just scuttling along the outside of this melee, or melee, if you're Dave.
Or me, because he's indoctrinated me. I
Really?
don't even know what's red. I don't even know what's red anymore.
Oh.
So yeah, the one that's constricted is easy pickings. It's restrained, or the other one. It's your turn, Sam.
Got eyes, right?
It's my turn. Thank you.
No,
Sorry,
they actually do not have eyes.
It's very
just like a blank page.
It's noisy, but it's like I'm trying
no
to
problem, man.
focus and not. All right.
I thought you were just tactically planning.
Not with a roll of a 3. I'm not. Nope.
You have
No.
advantage.
You're actually looking for...
You have advantage.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yes, thank you, Constrictor Snake.
Restrained.
Okay, so that is a 13.
That hits.
Oh,
So
yeah.
They're
Alright.
not heavily armored.
All right, then that will be 14 damage.
All right, you and Nub Nub team up to destroy this other one, and there is one remaining. And it is its turn. It's going to... Oh, let's see. It's going to try to bite it. Stan.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 16?
That does hit.
All right. It's going to be 5 piercing damage and a wisdom saving throw, which I guess will be irrelevant right now. But
Oh yeah, I rolled bad. So
it doesn't matter. It really only works when there's multiples of them left.
oh, that's
so.
right. Okay.
You do feel strange. You feel its maddening thoughts calling out to its brothers, but there appear to be no more around. And it is Circass's turn.
Shouting into the void.
Yep,
All right,
literally.
How many are left?
Just one, and it's sort of facing off against
Okay.
Stan.
That's 19 on one attack and 12 on the other.
Those both hit. And I can almost guarantee it will die.
7 damage?
Total?
Yeah.
I would have failed that guarantee. All right. Nub.
All right,
do.
last. So I'm going to go up to it, the other one, and try and constrict it.
All right.
That is going to be a 15 to hit,
That hits.
restrained, and it is going to take 17 damage.
And it is
God.
crushed out of existence. Yeah, man, Nub is quite the ass kicker.
I just want a party of nubs and we'll go dragon hunting. Like that.
I'm just glad he didn't conjure woodland beings, because that really those tore that girl on apart like so fast.
Yeah, plus
man.
it's from my side, it's a little bit frustrating dealing with that many different creatures. So I try to have like some of the higher level ones that
Oh yeah.
you don't have to manage as much, or it's like you do it just for the goofy effect of like, I send the 18 dogs to go out and find something for me.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna fade away from that back to the real world, where this giant blue-skinned cowled thing is looming over. You guessed this, Waylock and your inert friends and Fitzroy. You see that it scowls at being thwarted by Fitzroy, and as it does, the sky above just sort of like darkens, even though there's sort of like an atmosphere around Apathia's Haven, but it just begins to darken, even the starlight that was coming in. And you see that in its other hand is a massive glaive, and it's going to rear up and sort of start to strike down upon you minuscule creatures. And I need, you guessed this, and Fitzroy to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh no.
Oh God. Not super great.
18.
18? Nice. How about you, Fitzroy?
9.
9. All right. I got to wait for Waylock here as well. He made it too. So you guess this, you sort of slooge out of the way. I don't know if that's a word, but it sounds you guess this-y. Sort of undulates out of the way. Fitzroy, you are actually where it hits the ground, sort of like the whole structure in sort of like rumbles and shakes with vibratory force. It's like an intense tremor. And you are knocked prone. And, ooh, I didn't know it did that. Parts of the building begin to actually like just crack and fall away. You see like a fissure open up in the ground at the point where the glaive hit the ground.
Doug, this all feels real, right? This doesn't feel like
Oh yeah.
mind illusion shit.
No,
Okay.
it seems totally real. Actually, make an insight check.
Because I mean, we're dealing with dream realms here, so I'm and it's psychic effects, so I'm a little bit like, is this all in my mind? I rolled a 2 on the die, so I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it is
Real enough
absolutely.
to me.
Yeah, I mean, you really dove out of the way, and you really feel the shaking of the building and all that. And Fitzroy, you actually need to make another dexterity saving throw as you're scrambling on your hands and knees.
Oh, that one's better. 16.
So yeah, as this fissure sort of opens and the ground's like crumbling away below your feet, you're like scrambling forward. You manage to get to safer ground as parts of the ground just fall away. And amazingly, it seems to fall away just it almost like as if there's something protecting the tables where Stan, Nub, Circass, and Kieran's bodies are, but the ground around them sort of falls away and a little bit separated from you now.
We're not like on a big column, are we?
No, it appears that just parts of the floor fell away. This thing is up in the sky, sort of just getting frustrated at your efforts to survive.
Not die.
Yeah.
Waylock, where's the Gastronomicon? Give it to me quick.
He he is just in a sort of panic, and he's like, here, if there's something you think you can do.
What is he after? Is this like asking Doug? Does this feel like a god level creature that we're dealing with here? I mean,
No.
You kind of described it in like a Marvel vs. Capcom apocalypse like scale guy, like here's the hand coming in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
You had looked through the Gastronomicon previously, right? Didn't you? With
no, I had the book that had the directions to the.
That's right.
That's a different book, right?
Yes, but it's sort of written in a. Yeah.
Yeah, with the goggles I had.
That's right. Yeah. And I believe you had asked for them back just now too, right?
I took them off of Sam.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, no, Waylock had them.
So yes.
Give me the goggles, quick.
He does. He's like, here, take them. But if there's something you think you can do, what would you like to do?
Would you like to get an Arcana check to try to figure out any relation to this?
Mm-hmm.
If I see them over there, if I see Augustus like doing a bunch of stuff, can I like throw a knife at its face? Like it looks like Augustus has something going on, and like they're communicating. I'm gonna try and get its attention.
Sure.
So that Augustus can be doing his thing. So I just want to like, huck a knife at its face or something.
Yeah, man, go for it. Sure, absolutely.
You can do that. Tornado was never heard from again.
Are you gonna charge it up with your gambit energy?
I do, but it doesn't help because rolled a 2.
You want to use your inspiration?
Oh yeah. Hey, I got all that. Let's do that. Sweet. 18.
Yeah, so you charge this thing up with planar energy and just chuck it, and it does fly true and strike into the thing. So roll some damage.
Hot diggity dog. 11 damage. Now, Augustus, no pressure, but I just stabbed some giant thing in the face with a knife. I hope you have a solution.
So what would you like to do? What would you roll with your Arcana check?
Well, I rolled another 5, so I'm going to use an inspiration to re-roll that.
Okay.
I lick my fingers real hard, and I'm flipping the pages real fast. That's
my librarian.
Arcana check 21.
So whether it just sort of jarred some memory in you, you find a page in the book that describes a entity known as Jerese, the Lord of Dead Dreams that Waylock had mentioned. He is an Oni, and he has a pact with certain Fey Lords that he collects dream essence and sells it to them. And it describes his usual method involves these blue flowers that he'll like put people to sleep, and inside of their dream he will siphon off their essence basically into like a sort of liquid dream essence that he sells to them.
Seems okay.
But he does seem to have an effect like a sort of like a powerful sort of mental abilities. So, sort of like can draw people into like a lucid dream.
Fitzroy, we got to get these flowers off of them. They spray it with some dust, but we might be able to collect them and use them as a herb of some kind.
Okay. All right. I'm into.
And I point up at the flowers that I imagine are above my head because I'm probably taking cover behind one of these tables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by now those vines and roots have sort of like taken over the place, and there's like little blue buds all over the place.
I guess I've got the thing's attention already, but I'm just gonna start grabbing flowers.
Sure. Make a
Cut them off.
Yeah, I'm gonna start, I guess, ripping flowers off. Just
make a nature check.
Ooh, nature. I'm all about nature, and I rolled a 19.
So you kind of quickly assess the situation, and you see that while they are growing from vines, there's sort of like a central vine. So you're able to determine like the best way to approach the situation quickly and sort of like cut it off nip it in the bud, literally.
Bud.
Hey. All right.
And as you're doing that, yes, you see that Jerese, this Lord of Dead Dreams, sort of begins to like inhale. Like you see him like take deep breath in, and as you're doing this, like you're snatching these buds, and you guess this is flipping through the Gastronomicon, and you see that like more parts of the building actually begin to get sucked up towards him, and I need both Augustus and Fitzroy to make either acrobatics or athletics check, your choice, and I'll make one for Waylock as well. Got a nat 20.
We're gonna do athletics.
I rolled pretty good. 18 acrobatics.
All right.
21 athletics.
Okay, sure. So both of you, you managed to grab onto something or otherwise dodge out of the way as things start getting sucked up into the air. Waylock also seems to like coil himself around a sturdy piece of masonry that's remaining in the building, and he is not sucked up into the air as you are gathering these blue buds and cutting them off at the nub.
Do people on the table feel like they're being held down by the buds or something?
No, it appears that they're just like it appears that like the source of where this is growing from is the area where they all are at. But it looks like he's somehow targeting the non-sleeping creatures. Yeah, and we will fade back into our dream realm, where our folks are navigating closer to success, hopefully. So you guys have just defeated another batch of these bizarre creatures. What would you like to do? You want to try to make your way closer to this green light in the sky?
Yeah, we continue.
All right, Nub, you leading the way?
Yep.
All right, so you can make a charisma check with advantage because it stands a reconnaissance.
That is going to be a 14.
So yeah, actually, you start to, between you and Stan, you're starting to get to the lay of the land of like, it's not always the obvious choice of where to go. And let's see. So yeah, you actually start to hear whispers similar to the own secrets revealed, and but they're of other people. You hear voices whisper like, "Augustus, he betrayed us," and things like that.
Probably.
There's actually several different voices.
Never do that. That doesn't believe it.
You choose to
Whatever
disbelieve.
Flowers are saying that, I give them the eye and hiss.
All right, but and because of your expert navigation too, you're able to sort of like avoid some of the platforms where more of these creatures lurk, and you're getting closer to this main platform, and you get to one where there is. It's similar to the other platforms, except at the one there's only one other. Like you come up a ramp onto it. There's only one other archway with a ramp leading up to where this green light is emanating. Except at the other end of the archway is a gigantic, probably like 12-foot tall, heavily muscled creature. It's similar to those other ones. It's got no eyes and just like a lipless mouth filled with teeth. Its skin is translucent, so you can actually see like the muscles and blood vessels beneath, just rippling with power. And it just kind of like roars, and it's got like big jagged claws.
I go.
It does not appear to be cowed by your hiss.
Yeah.
But from the platform above where that light is, you actually see now that you're closer that where you'd seen Arlosh earlier, Shirkas. It's sort of like I don't know how to describe it. Like his form is kind of like shifting between his own and like this larger dragon-like creature that's body appears to be made of stars, and it has like a sort of black void floating above its own head, and it roars down at you as well. And it's going, and with that, this hulking creature is going to just start stomping across the platform and attacking at you guys. So we can roll initiative. Ooh, yes.
19.
They're all dead.
11.
Okay. Did you get Stan like 30 or something?
14.
Oh,
Rolled really bad tonight.
And what did this thing get? There we go. I'm gonna roll separately for him. Okay. What'd you roll, Sarkas? I'm sorry.
19.
19. All right, so the first thing that is going to happen is the fabric of this whole place near the three of you sort of like rends and rips in space, and you see like a black void appear, similar to the one where the light is going into. And I'm going to randomly pick two of you. So Circus and Nub Nub, you actually like sort of on the edge of this thing, and it pulls you together. And for a brief moment, you're actually existing in the same space until it just feels like horribly like your essence is being mashed together with another's, before it like blasts you apart, where you will make dexterity checks, or no, strength saving throws. Sorry.
Even worse.
That's not a high DC.
3.
Higher than that. How about you, Nub Nub?
That is 16.
All right, so you're flung apart, Circus. You're flung to the ground, prone. As Nub Nub, you're an opportunity. Take 5 force damage as your essences were just sort of like pulled together inside this void and then blasted apart. And Circus, it is your turn.
Quick question, no, sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
Are our dream selves as damaged as our real selves were?
No, I just for the sake of fun, we started this session with everybody.
Oh, okay, great.
All recharge and stuff.
Thank you.
Now I fireball.
At the void-like dragon, or this big thing charging at you?
At this big thing charging at me. I'm not firing a fireball at my son.
All right, gotcha. Is that a dex save? I mean, it's going to do damage either way.
Save.
Well, it is not very dexterous, so you were lucky. And I rolled a 0. Was the result there?
All right, that is 26 damage.
26 fire damage.
0
And then then Whispers of the Void.
All right.
I'm staying
awesome.
on the ground. Like, I can cast from here. This is
Sure.
fine.
Gotcha. No problem.
Then
It's its turn. So it's just bounding across this thing, and it is going to... It's going to barrel into Stan. With both its arms, it's going to stop and just try to, like, Hulk smash you. Or Star Spawn Hulk smash you. And it's going to be... Oh, yeah, those are definitely both going to hit. They're in the 20s. Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to use the special power. It's going to do one at Stan and one at Nub Nub with its reaping arms. And they still were both in the 20s. So that's going to be 12 bludgeoning damage to Stan and 8 to Nub Nub, and each need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I will use my reaction to half that.
Okay.
And I have a 16 for dex save.
Okay. So you are knocked prone by its arms. It's got like just really long arms and just like smashed into Nub Nub and Stan.
11.
You are also knocked prone. And just to save time, I'm going to recharge it. It doesn't recharge. So yeah, it's just looming over you, roaring above. Stan, it is your turn. You are about 10 feet away from this thing, prone on the ground.
I am, okay. Well, I will scuttle on up to my feet.
Okay.
And I am going to dash around it.
Okay.
And, well, I guess he can hit me, so I'm going to disengage, run around, and try and look for an angle that I can get him on. I can use an extra bonus to hide. Is it correct? So I've got two bonuses, which I can do dash, disengage. I think it.
Yeah, there's not really a way to hide. It's sort of like a
blast.
flat stone.
Okay.
Platform.
Well, I'll just get around it so it has to focus on one of us.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted to do. I want to use one of my bonus actions to dodge. I'm going to use the hit dice to heroics, spend my hit dice, and I will be using a bonus action to dodge, and then I will just attack him.
Okay, with what, the hand crossbow?
Yeah, one of my throwaway daggers that can get lost in a dreamscape.
Do you have a hand crossbow, or I don't remember, or do you just have your throwaway dagger?
I just have my throwaway daggers.
Okay,
and some talon. I have some carapace shards, but I keep those for special occasions. The throwaway daggers are just, I assume I picked up something sharp enough.
Yeah, I mean, they're just daggers. They're probably stolen from the ship's cutlery room.
So that'll be a 16.
That hits. Sinks into its translucent flesh. And you can see like the sort of like veins and stuff in her pulse, and sort of like
which is
go
super
towards
gross,
it.
by the way. Super gross.
I didn't make it up, man. Blame Monsters of the Coast.
8 damage.
All right, yeah, it roars in pain, definitely feeling that sting. And then it is Nub Nub.
All right.
Can
Nub Nub.
can a snake be knocked prone? Is it immune to that?
I checked. It can in fact be knocked prone.
That's
Always had a problem with this rule.
Yeah, because some creatures do have immunity to prone.
Yeah, they just don't get around as much as it should.
Yeah.
The snake gets up,
Mhm.
gets up.
Oils yourself into a proper striking pose.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
like the
I'm on
Q-Bird guy.
ground.
Yeah.
Now I'm up. I'm gonna try and constrict it.
Okay.
I am going to use my lucky.
Okay.
That is going to be an 8 plus. Or sorry, whoops. That is going to be 14 to hit.
Yeah, you try to constrict, and it's just like it's so heavily muscled, you just can't get a strong enough grip on it.
Okay, that's it for my turn.
Okay. All right, then it is Void Lash's turn. And he sort of like looks down as if between its shimmering. He's like, I'm sorry, Mom, I don't know what's going on. And it is going to kind of like this dragon form sort of like asserts itself more, and it rears its head back and sort of like swoops down a bit, and it is going to breathe a cone of what looks like kind of blue fire, but you don't feel any heat from it. It is just going to breathe all over this Hulk and everybody there in a big cone. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
12.
9.
20.
Oh, actually 11. I forgot to add my stat modifier.
A 20.
All right. So Nub Nub and Circass, you're going to take 10 psychic damage. Stan, you're going to take 5 psychic damage. And then you see as this sort of flare of blue fire-like stuff sort of washes over the Hulk as well. It appears totally unaffected by it, except that it's sort of like reflected off its translucent body. And Stan and Nub Nub are going to take another 10 and 5 psychic damage, respectively. Or 5 and 10, respectively.
Okay.
It appears that it's sort of just reflected off it like a psychic mirror. And so, yeah, Void Lash is sort of like at the bottom of the archway from the platform leading up to the top there. And then we're back up to the top with Circass.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, actually, an initiative count 20. Void Lash sort of like beats his wings, and the gravity on this area seems to be lessened, and all of you sort of float off the ground. You're drifting up. You drift up about 10 feet off the ground, and you're sort of like in a zero-G environment.
So when that starts happening, can I kick off on purpose to go higher than that?
Sure, make an athletics check. Oh, I actually get to bust out our zero-G rules that we haven't used since you were fighting that cosmic slime. Where is it?
Okay, so I rolled a 19 and it's just going to be 19.
Yeah, so you actually have total control over, you can go where you want to go. So you go higher, you said?
Yeah, I'm going straight over to where Arlosh is.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to sort of arc yourself off and get the sense of this, and you're within as close as you'd like to get.
I want to get a better look at like what's going on. You said there was like a thing hovering over his head.
Yes, so every so often it's like his form is it's not like he's transforming, it's like something else is just taking the space where he was. So you see him and then it'll flicker and it's this dragon-like form, except its body is like a star field, and before its head is sort of like a black inky void ball of just nothingness.
Okay. So do I get the impression that it is just Arlosh here, or is there another entity trying to take over, or do I not know?
Yes, it's like something's trying to take his space in the universe. So it's not becoming him, it's sort of like trying to pull him away and take and become the place that he was.
All right. Well, in
Does
that
that make
case,
sense?
yes, I am going
Someone's
to.
got to die.
I'm going to be like void creature. Cease this assault and speak with me for a moment.
And sure. So around you kind of see like, time, maybe not time slow down, but like everything sort of slows where you have like this moment, a slice of time outside of time where you are speaking with this creature.
Let me explain. If you come here and take this spot, you're going to die. You don't want this spot. You don't want to be here when I'm done with you.
Okay, like it's a little bit more complicated than that though, because I am a void warlock. This is like kind of a part of my patron here, I have to assume.
And it actually says yes, and thank you very much for bringing this creature to me.
No, not him. You can't have him. Take something else. Take someone else. Take me if you have to.
It sort of explains that, and it sort of gestures back at Kieran. It's just like, you have done very well. It's like you've brought me not only the helm, but the creature it controls. It's like it explains that like there are more than one of these creatures in the universe, but it's like, I have this one right here and I have you to thank.
And you intend to take control of him with that?
He will exist in the void with us, and I will take his place in the universe.
He doesn't want to go to the void.
No one wants to go to the void willingly.
I'll go to the void willingly. You can have my place. Leave him here.
Make a persuasion check.
Dang it, I'm not proficient in persuasion. All right,
That's
I got
fine.
15 total.
That's pretty high. It considers for a moment, and it says,
I'd give you an inspiration, but I don't have it.
No, it actually seems contemplative, and it's like, it is a delight. He's like, you have served your usefulness, and perhaps all that is left of you is just this carapace husk. He's like, all right, join me in the void, and it'll sort of, you see like Arlash, and it flickers for a moment, but this thing sort of like separates from Arlash, who just kind of like flops down to the ground weakly, and he's like, Mom, what's going on?
And I'm like going to be loudly thinking, like, take care of him, Stan, because I'm like not even going to hesitate to like take this entity's hand and let it take over.
For me, I'm like, no. I immediately turn back from a snake into my normal form, and I just say, no, I'm supposed to be protecting. My job is to protect all of you. I can't allow this. No, we are all going home. We're all going to be back on the ship. No one is going to the void.
Nub, you don't understand. I am going home.
And then I was sad.
Well, that's a good point. We can cut back to that in a moment and see what happens. With Circassian, we'll cut back to the real world, where Jerice is sort of like inhaling and sucking up the building into the sky. And you see that Circassia's form is actually becoming a little indistinct on that table. Jerice, for his part, appears to just be like sucking up parts of the building into the sky. You guys are hanging on, to various things, or dodging out of the way of this vacuum-like effect as I drop my dice all over the place and retrieve them. What would you like to be doing in this situation? Everything else seems stable, but Circassia's form almost becomes a little indistinct, and you see that that gem that was sort of floating above Kieran's head is sort of like it's much brighter than it was before.
Oh, Kieran's here on the table with the gem. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Waylock, what the hell's going on?
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I had actually just put Kieran in a lucid state so that I could separate the gem. Jerice must have sensed the power of the Gastronomicon and come for its energy, but I don't know what's going on in the dream realm. he's like, and he kind of like looks at Sir Cass's form becoming indistinct, and he's like, it can't be good. I mean, it should just be safe. I don't understand what's going on in there.
Was this Jerice is the name of the dude?
Yeah, it's an Oni.
Oh, great, Jerice. Please take this worthless snake being as a sacrifice and leave us be. Started all this. What's going on?
Okay.
But
Make
what
a
about
persuasion.
Ron?
Yeah, you guess this one. Give a shit about Ram.
I don't like
Barely
Ron
gives a crap about any of you.
either.
I mean, this seems like way out of hand here. Somebody's got to do something.
Sure, man. Make a. Do you want to do anything to enhance your persuasion?
Nah, I'll
technique?
just roll it straight. I mean,
All right.
I don't want to sacrifice this guy, but he ain't helping it. He started this shit and he ain't doing nothing to help.
It just got out of hand behind him.
I rolled my 5th 5 in a row, so that's 7.
Waylock sort of looks at you like, man, what the hell, bro? I was trying to help this guy. Yeah, Dries seems because he's like, oh, I intend to take him and you and your friends in Dream Realm too.
Oh, good.
Do you want the what do you want the book? What do you want?
He's like, I'm just here for the dream essence. He's like, I thought to just get your friend there with the ultimate helms, but if they're all in there, he's like, my friends who exist in that realm will extract all of their essence.
That's right. It looks like it's fight or flight time here. What are we thinking?
We're thinking fight. We're thinking save Sir Cass from. Oh, there's such a pile of suck surrounding this right now. All right,
It's D&D, man.
giant bad thing. Sir Cass is going to get sucked away, or her baby is. No real choices there that are great. Okay, more knives.
I mean, we don't know that that's happening in there, but
Yes. More knives into the big thing's face.
Sure.
I have to assume that the reason that Sir Cass is fading out of existence
Okay.
is this thing's fault, because that's what I see. So
Sure. Make a perception check also, Fitzroy.
Oh, not terrible, but I need to look and see what my stat actually is.
did
before I
him
go.
cutting the flowers have any effect?
Yeah, I chopped a bunch of flowers. And I rolled a 22 on my perception.
Okay, so two things. Yes, you do notice that despite his enormous size, hitting him with that thing did seem to did become a little smaller as you pelted him with that knife. Getting the flowers didn't seem to have any. Well, yes, it did have an effect in this room. Those kind of motes of light that they had puffed up in your face aren't doing that anymore. So there's that effect. Is like that sort of clouding of your mind feeling has ceased. So, whoa, is that Peanut?
Sorry. Peanut decided she wanted to be feisty. Sorry.
So why don't you two roll initiative as well, and I'll see if I can run 2 combats at the same time.
Man,
Okay. 7 initiative.
13.
All right. So I'm going to let Fitzroy go first. You guessed this, you actually are higher, but you'd said that's what you wanted to throw a knife. So you can go ahead and do that. Into the already
Okay.
injured Jerice.
We are throwing knives. 15,
That hits, sinks into him.
10 damage.
All right. So yeah, as your planar knife goes into him, he appears to shrink a little bit more and howl in pain.
Oh, we're bringing him down to size. All right.
That's right. And then we'll actually start the round. So you guess this, it is your turn. So you've had that conversation with Fitzroy. Waylock seems to be just like this has just gotten way beyond, like, out of his control. Like he wasn't prepared for any of this.
I am going to start out by using my hit dice to. Well, first of all, I pull Moisty out of my ear because it was there blocking the sound.
I love the visual. Yeah. Okay.
So I dig him out of my ear, and I shake him around. And I go, "Get in there!" And then I squash him between my fingers, so he breaks up into a bunch of little moisties, and they all expand. So
Oh, nice.
hit dice thing to double him up, which I think at our level probably makes 3 or 4 of them. I'm not sure. But all I really want them to do is fly around this Oni's head and distract him.
Okay.
Right.
So they can basically get like help. They can give you the help action.
Yeah.
Give
I mean,
advantage.
they'll
Okay.
probably try to hit him with scares since there's a bunch of them and they can double up on scares. So if
Okay.
a bunch of wisdom save, that's fine.
Sure. So there's 3 moisties flitting around his head.
Yeah, at 7, I thought they jumped at 7. No.
7 moisties.
No. I mean, at 7th level, I thought they.
Oh,
I don't know when you get more.
I don't remember either. We'll just say there's 4 moisties.
Okay,
That's not. And I got a 10. What is that? A wisdom save?
It's a DC 10 wisdom save. I'm just hoping the number of times you have to make it will.
I failed one. So he is frightened of one of the moisties.
All right. Good.
So yeah, the other she's just like swatting, but then one particular, maybe it's the moisty prime. So he's just like,
Just a huge Slimer mouth with giant teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that was your action. So
Yeah, that's
is there any-
action, I believe.
Okay. All right. So Fitzroy, it is your turn. You've got a reducing size giant Oni who's being harassed by several moisties,
Let
giving
me
you.
just add one thing, Doug.
Sure, absolutely.
Because this guy's trying to suck people off of the ground, and I have a viscous climb speed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my move to just adhere myself to the ground.
All right. So yeah, your flesh just sort of like spreads out a little bit and sticks to the ground. Sure. All right, Fitzroy.
Yes.
Time to use those 7th level Horizon Walker, whatever you got. I don't know. Okay.
There's the 7th level Horizon Walker has more 1st and 2nd level spell slots.
Good berry, man. That's gonna be the key to the whole thing.
Is Goodberry. I've used Goodberry every adventure. Right now, it is Huck More Knives at his face.
All right. I believe you have extra attacks now too, so you can.
Yeah, but I have no idea.
You get the whole knife chef kit out, unroll it, and go to town.
Yeah.
The wood
Yeah.
block and all the knives.
15 and a 7.
The 15 hits.
Okay, 9 damage.
Yeah, so you are whittling him down. Every blow, he seems to get smaller and smaller. But now he's only probably about.
That's encouraging.
25 feet.
I notice him shrinking in size, and because of where Fitzroy is right now, every time he gets a little smaller, I look to see if maybe Sir Cass is a little less diminished. like hoping that there's some kind of correlation there. That's where my logic is leading. Because I have no idea what's going on.
She does not. She appears to just be sort of, not totally see-through, but it's like her form's just sort of indistinct.
Okay, that clearly means the only good solution is to kill this guy.
Absolutely.
All right.
You're like, I'm a D&D guy. There's a monster. I have to kill it.
Yeah.
All right. So what it is going to do is, ooh, that's nasty.
I know, it's the things every once in a while Doug goes, oh neat, I didn't know the monster did that.
I actually haven't
No.
Every time I've ever gamed with people, it's like, we'll start at like 1st or 3rd level and it fizzles out. So it's like, ooh, using all these creatures with all these. So I'm going to need Augustus, Fitzroy, and also Stan and Nub and Sir Cass to make Constitution saving throws.
Everybody makes con saves.
Everybody makes con saves. Yay!
4.
4?
10.
17.
I got an 8. Killed it with that 8.
All right.
3.
And the whole party died.
So for Stan, Nub, and Sir Cass, if you could take these off your hit point total, because
Okay.
To answer Stan's question, your bodies are separate in this room. So anybody that got below 13 is going to take 24 cold damage.
Oh,
Meep.
I'm down.
Well, no, that's off your total. Like your dream body damage is separate.
Oh, so we're running this is a separate total.
Yes, this is just your actual body taking damage.
So I am damaged the exact same amount in my physical body as I am in my dream body. At least they match. At least it's consistent.
Okay, and I think Augustus, you're the only one that passed, so you take half that.
That was well over
As,
half my health.
as it just kind of makes a cone-shaped gesture with his hands, and a blast of freezing cold air just erupts all around you. Oh, and Waylock.
Oh
Also.
God, brutal, man.
Ooh, he failed too. He's chilly. He's cold-blooded,
Augustus
so
will be happy. He'll be dead.
yeah. He's like, that son of a bitch. He's got us into this in the first place. And it is Augustus's turn.
All right, it looks like he pulling out the big spells this time.
Oh, wait a minute. No, he had to use his move to get to move away, right? From Wasty.
I think frightened means you just can't get closer to them. So
I think you actually have to use your move to move as far away too.
okay.
So he's gonna lumber backwards through this tenement neighborhood where you guys were at.
He gets a save every round against it, by the way.
Oh, he made it, but he still, nevertheless, he did move away, and then
He gets disadvantage on the save if Moisty's still in sight, which he is.
I rolled an 18 and a 16.
Yeah, they both.
Okay, but he moved somewhat away, so he's kind of like backed away from the building, and he's shrinking.
Okay. So then I'm going to delay for a second and let all of the familiars try to bite him.
Okay.
Claws and bites.
All right, 15 is his AC.
Nope. Crit. A hit and a crit. So
Okay.
the crit's gonna deal. Dumb crit mechanic. I hate dice. Don't make me get more dice out. I already got my dice out. So the crit will do 7 piercing damage, and he makes a save against DC 10 con save against poison.
I got a nat 20.
All right, so he is not poisoned.
He is not.
And then you get a normal hit, which will deal a measly 4, as they just all try to poke him and prod him with various proboscis. After they do that and kind of get out of the way, I'm going to hit him with a Edward's Black Tentacles. Blah.
All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm gonna like go like this and spread black goop all on the ground towards him, and then all tentacles come shooting up from and around his legs and try to.
Absolutely. And whatever the save is, he failed because he rolled a 6. So I think it was a strength.
Maybe.
Because they're like grasping around him.
Haven't written it down yet. Sorry about this.
That's cool.
Just picked it today.
What am I? I think it's strength, but no
20-foot square in the ground. You see within range. Duration. Tentacles in the ground. Starts its turn there. They take a dexterity save or get bludgeoned by big gross tentacles. And then if they're already restrained, they just start taking damage.
Okay, so it's when he starts his turn there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I already rolled, and I don't want to take it away from you. So when he does start his turn, he will have failed.
Cool.
All right. And the moisties are continuing to harass him, right?
From above, yes.
Yeah. So Fitzroy, you have advantage on your attacks because of Moisty, the Moisty Brigade.
Moisty the Menacer.
Way to go, Moisty.
Moisty the Menacer.
Awesome. I'm trying to see. I thought I got higher damage to my gambit charge on my attacks.
Probably.
But I don't see it anywhere. So, okay.
That's a good point. I wonder if it is. I'll look it up while you're rolling it.
All right. We can just modify the roll or something. Hey, yeah. I rolled a 20. Now
nice.
I really want
to know. Sure. Let's see. Horizon Walker. No, it's when you reach 11th level. Oof, man.
Boo on that then. Okay. We're gonna hit for 8 damage, and then we're gonna double it because we rolled a crit. 16. Dublé.
Yeah, so he is he's just about normal size for what he normally is now. He's like about 9 feet tall. So he's a little out of sight. Maybe you're standing at the edge of where the building had crumbled away, and you see this tarry goo that Augustus has laid out. And it is Jerice's turn. So what happens at the start of his turn? We had failed to save, so what was it? He's restrained?
He's restrained and he takes bludgeoning damage. I rolled 9 bludgeoning damage.
Woo! So yeah, he's just getting buffeted around by rubbery black tentacles.
Yeah, he's basically grappled up, and if he wants to get out, he has to either make a strength or dexterity check to get out of it.
All right.
As his action.
He's going to attempt to do that. And he failed. I rolled a 5. So yeah, he tries to struggle to get away, and he cannot. And we are going to cut back over real quick. We'll come back.
Anime scened all up.
That's right. Yeah. So we're going to cut back over to there where Circass was negotiating with this void dragon, which seemed to like your offer. It is going to lead you up to the final platform where you see there's like a sort of like a like all those vines and blue flowers and things have formed like a pod.
Okay.
With like a clear top on it. You see Kieran inside. There's actually like that gem is sort of floating above his head, but it is where that green beam is emitting from, so it's sort of like sucking that energy up. And this dragon sort of gestures for you to take his place.
Okay.
If you would like.
So it's not occupying the same space as me yet.
No.
Okay, let me know when that happens. I'll go ahead and take Kieran's space for the time being.
Okay.
Because I have a boosted plan, but
I looked at Circus. I'm like, do you really want to go?
Just trust me.
All right. And as you're shouting up to Circus, that Hulk, that Starspawn Hulk, Nub actually just goes to backhand you.
Okay. My thing is, if either one of you go, you're still agreeing to bring this dragon into reality.
Just trust me.
I trust you.
Circus has a plan. So it's going to just try to bash at you. Slam, that's gonna 13. Does that hit you?
That is a miss because I'm currently in nub form.
All right, and then its other slam attack is going to be a 23.
23 to hit. That is a hit.
Okay, that's going to do. Where's my d8s? There we go. 14 psychic damage. You need to do a Constitution saving throw.
10.
You are stunned until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
And it is Stan's turn. So you just saw Nub get whacked in the head by this giant hulking form while Circus was led up to this platform above. You can't really see what's going on out there. Oh, although you do see that green beam go off.
I don't know what's going on. It looks kind of strange, but I'm dealing with the creature in front of me right now. So
okay,
I will come at it with my grandfather's arm.
Okay, and you can get your sneak attack since it's right up in Nub's grill.
Well, that's really convenient because I rolled a 20.
Ooh, wow!
So this will be a tremendous amount of damage, hopefully. Oh, 26. It's not it's a little lackluster for 86. But yeah, it's something.
26.
I mean,
that was the 26 was with the crit and everything.
Wow.
And the sneak attack.
Right. Well, it does do a significant amount of damage.
Yes.
You just like stab him in the gut, and you see that same thing where like the veins sort of pulsate and like sort of like the blood inside flows towards that area.
Yeah, it cuts back his neck like Attack on Titan style.
Oh yeah. I must climb him.
It is your turn. You're stunned. So at the end of your turn, you would become unstunned and shake the cobwebs out of your head.
Yep, that's my turn.
And it is Void Lash's turn. So now tell me what's going on up there, Circus.
All right. So like, I'm just waiting for this thing to like do like, you know how it was kind of occupying the same space as Arlosh and like trying to swap spaces that way. I'm just waiting for that to happen. So.
Okay. It actually. Sorry. Where did my notes go here? So it is sort of like weekly. It sort of like positions itself by you, Kieran. So you just removed him from the pad, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it takes a round, as you get in there, and now this Ultimate Helm gem starts siphoning power from you.
Okay.
And actually, I have so many documents open right now. You need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Dang it. It's always Constitution. I am so bad at Constitution. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. I nat 20'd that.
Okay.
Hey.
So maybe you can use this to your advantage now. You feel like a powerful pull on your psyche that you get the sense like if you would have failed that, you would have been like unconscious like that.
Ooh.
So you tell me what you want to do.
All right. So, like, is it occupying my space now? Like, do I have that connection to this creature?
Yes.
At this moment? All right. And we are still in this dream state. Like, we still have that little bit of dreamlike agency. So, nothing total. All right. Good. This is a dream, and this is the void, and I belong here. And I attempt to take this creature into myself, merge it into the same being, to devour it, to ingest it, if you will.
Okay, make a charisma saving throw with advantage because that sounds really cool.
One might say you're on a quest to ingest.
Oh.
15.
I rolled a nat 1. So, so you actually, you feel this thing sort of like connected to your psyche. It's sort of drawing on your psyche, but you recognize that connection and you take control of that connection yourself and sort of reverse the process. And this creature, its form is like it looks panicked almost. As you guys see, it starts to fade as well, and it's sort of like sucked back into that beam, like sort of like in pieces, like as if that beam had like a sort of gravity. It sort of sucks it apart into it, down into the gem, down into Circass. The gem falls down from the sky, sort of clatters at your feet. The Hulk that you had been fighting, and in fact, the ground and things all around you begins to just fade away as you guys awaken in the real world. Circass, you sort of come to, you're very cold when you come to on these slabs. So there's like frost all around you. You now have that green gem floating around your head, and you see Fitzroy and Augustus standing at the edge of what you guess was the building you were in, but it appears to be totally demolished now. It's like the walls are crumbling. They're like firing and throwing knives down to the street, basically. But you sort of come to, you sort of come to on this table and shake your heads awake as you are now in the waking world. And
here.
he is. He's sort of kind of like draped weakly over you, and he's just like, "Mom, what happened?" Or, I don't know. Where are we? I don't understand what happened. And you actually feel a much stronger connection to Arlash now too because of this gem that is in your head. Like you actually can like you just feel like you're sort of one being. Like you know everything about him, and he you. And I'm just going to fold you guys right back into the initiative with them. So it was to come out, and it was 5 hands Stan's turn.
All right. I get up from taking in my dream nap, and after I figure out basically what's going on, there's still this kind of giant Oni-like critter.
Yeah, I mean, if you rushed over to where Augustus and Fitzroy are.
Okay, well, if they're engaged in combat, I'm going to find out what they're doing. Yeah,
so you rush over to the edge of the building where they're standing, and you see a blue skin creature that is an Oni, and it's sort of like just getting buffeted around by these rubbery black tentacles in the stream. Maybe Augustus is probably just laughing. There's several moisties floating around his head still.
I just imagine him holding his stomach, laughing.
Yeah.
Enjoying it. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to not get too close to that. I will spit poison at him.
He's like probably 30 or 40 feet away.
I don't want to get too... No, it's only 10 feet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then. I will look menacing at it.
All right.
You know, I will actually make illusions around the backside of it that just seem like there's like a field of more tentacles behind it. So so that trying to mimic that basically this whatever Augustus has done just keeps going on behind him. So if he turns around to try and run, it's looking like a bad idea.
Make an Arcana check with advantage.
Okay.
And I will roll to see if he. Oh yeah, that's really low.
Yeah, that's a 10. After advantage.
I rolled a 7, so yeah, it's I mean, you are able to mimic the look of these things pretty well with your mental illusion. And then Nub, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna run over, and then I see this thing down there. So I am going to leap off of the building, and then in midair turn into a killer whale, and then slam onto it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you could turn into one of those.
Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even want to do that. Does it hit? I mean, it's like a large creature, right?
It is a huge creature.
It's a huge creature? Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have an attack, like a slam attack of some sort?
So it has a bite attack. Do you just want me to do like a strength check to slam it?
Yes.
Okay.
The average weight of a male killer whale is between 8 and 12 tons.
That is 17.
Throwing that out there.
Okay, I'm gonna say that you
no concept of like throwing big things on other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys see Nub jump out and transform into a killer whale and slam down on this thing. Let's see, it's about 30. What does its attack do? Like
what's the attack do? I was leaving that up to you. The thing is,
yeah, so I was gonna base
take the same amount of damage probably from the fall.
Sure. So
definitely should do falling damage. Plus
yeah,
whatever the biggest weapon would be. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say it's gonna do 3d6 falling damage. That's just the falling damage.
Yeah.
Like the actual damage. So Nub will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as well.
Okay.
This creature, and then I'm gonna say it's almost like a siege weapon at that point. Why don't you roll me 3d 4d? How much did you say it weighed, Kanata?
Between 8 and 12 tons.
Why don't you roll 8d10?
All right.
We'll do 1d10 per ton.
Okay.
It's just Fitzroy standing on the hill with like all the knives out, and he sees Nub come running up on his side and leap off the hill and turn into a whale, and Fitzroy just puts his knives away.
Just like the simulation of a ton of something is the same damage as a greatsword.
Whatever.
Like, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do?
Everyone in the audience, you need to write these homebrew rules down. How much does an orc?
I have all this written down in my notes. I swear.
Yeah. This is all very precisely worked out.
That is going to 10, 20, 30, 34 damage.
It is a blue stain.
So what happens is I have my little like whaley arms. I'm like, yeah.
And you're actually kind of swimming around in the tentacles. And it feels the tentacles feel similar to your own body's blubbery hide.
I will have the tentacles crowd surf him.
Yes, that is what happens. Nub, you're crowd surfing on Ender's black tentacles as a killer whale.
That could be very bad if this didn't work, and it's like, oh, I'm just a whale. Next.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell are you doing? So we're getting towards the end of the time finale. So in the interest of time, say you managed to clear this up. You still had the matter of Waylock and Ron's wedding that you were catering. So you guys you collect, not to discount your collection of the blue saffron risotto and elemental escargot ingredients. You have the Gastronomicon now, which has magical and gastronomical secrets in it. Is there anything particular that the Ingest Quest crew would like to create culinarily for the wedding of Waylock?
He has to make Fitzroy has to make that final roll to see how.
That's right.
Yeah, no pressure. Thanks for that.
The entire campaign is just leading up to this.
Yeah. And you got your sous chef and your crew. Been there, all these culinary explorations.
I wish I had another camera. I kind of want to like just take my camera and roll with it.
I'm gonna give Fitzroy some of my special ground spice. It's a secret. It's a secret.
Take it all out of your pocket.
It's a secret of my people.
My
I'll just say that.
Countertop.
Hold on,
I rolled a 6.
Inspiration yet.
Doug,
All right, hey,
inspiration.
Circassus.
I have inspiration. All right, we'll give it one more.
13.
Okay.
No, a 13. It's a 13.
All right. Was there any special dishes that you wanted to make besides Great Aunt Maylorn's favorites that Waylock had described to you?
I think we promised we were gonna make a big plan for them at some point.
That's right. Yeah, definitely got to do that. Stan. Oh, go ahead.
I do want to say that this Gastronomicon, while seems to be very powerful, also might be possibly very dangerous. So
you're the last one that had it, and there is many secrets about jellies. There's actually a section called Spelljammer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna change my mind. I was gonna offer it up as a way of protecting myself to Fitzroy, but if it's got straight up jellies and jams in there, then
yeah, there's a whole chapter on space Spelljam, spell jelly.
You can
spell preserves.
But you two very clearly belong together, so.
What was that word? You can what? Air?
Now Ron would actually like stand. He asks you to officiate his wedding.
Aww.
Oh, really?
Dude, you saved his people, man. You are a mantid who has proven themselves an individual. That these people existed for centuries. Thinking, like, the only way to live is as a hive. You've proven like, no, man, you can be your own person.
Okay.
He found love because of you.
That makes sense. I answer. I give like a nod and say, "Okay."
And you can actually hold it aboard. I forgot to mention also too. Back in the real world now, very quickly afterwards, Arlosh began to grow. He is no longer a small thing. He is actually a ship that you can ride on. Circus, you are the captain of that ship with your ultimate.
Awesome.
If you'd like to have your wedding on board Arlosh, you could do that.
That would be pretty cool.
Right,
Save some catering
words
services.
you'd like? Yeah, sure. Any words that you would like to say, Stan?
Oh yes. Ron and Waylock. That's right. I almost said Arlosh. Ron and Arlosh. Waylock. May you be happily stealing each other from the world forever. And don't steal other people. You're married.
That's your.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
That is beautiful.
It's so beautiful, like by the tears coming down.
And several the Mantid people had been there. His friends from the Illrigger, Javik and Warren and Krex and all that thing. And afterwards, people are sort of partying aboard Arlosh and so forth. And Circus Arlosh sort of gives you a mental signal. He says, "Mom, it's like there's something that I need to do. Will you go with me?"
Of course I will.
And before while everybody's partying and all that sort of thing, Arlosh just sort of like dematerializes from the space around Apathia's Haven where you had been holding this ceremony. And you recall you had spoken to Krex at the wedding ceremony as well, Circus, and he sort of gets the sense, that you had just had this run-in with the Void and all that, and he reminds you that he once too had made a pact with the Void until he discovered something beyond the Void, and he wishes you well in your journeys. And as Arlosh sort of dematerializes with everybody aboard, you find yourselves at the edge of a great void in space that you have now come to know as the Weird. It's not on any of your star charts, but with the Gastronomicon and the goggles you found from that Night Wolf, you discovered that you are far from home, further than any known space, and that is where we will end this season of Ingest Quest. And we
my flan.
and hopefully maybe we'll come and revisit it. We've talked about running other games with this group because I absolutely had a blast playing with you guys. It's my first time live stream. So much fun getting to know you guys.
Can we really quickly have a round of applause for our games master?
Yay, Doug! Woohoo! Nerd, Doug.
Thank you for taking the anxiety attack, so none of us had to. I appreciate it.
Well, hopefully, one of I would totally love to play some games with you guys again. Maybe we'll rotate around and see what happens. We were talking about that.
Got some ideas.
Yeah. So I just have so much fun getting to know you guys and sharing our game with everybody, and I'm so glad everybody that watched us live and came around and hung out, and for you guys to indulge my crazy D&D adventures. So thanks, guys. So yeah, until next time, who knows what party of adventures, or we'll come back and see Ingest Quest crew again sometime. Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.
Stay nerdy.